Oh wow, is it actually just going to straight up start immediately? Let me click start recording. So I'm just recording it just in case I use this as a video. Hello! How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing alright. Was there anything good on the TV at the weekend? How's everybody doing? It's always weird when you start one of these streams and people haven't come in yet. Straight away, how much did you get paid? Love that. First question. That's what everyone wants to know. How much of that dough did I roll in? The first question. God of the Hooniverse. Evening 2. Airwolf, The Corner Bed, SW, Careful Trouble 8, Jess Hood, Sheffield Land. What do you think about? What do you think Hooniverse Theories makes videos about? Well, this is my actually good time to talk about this. I have a personal conspiracy theory about my Hooniverse equivalent, my parallel universe equivalent, that I can share with you guys. I put it on Twitter as well, so I can actually show this to you guys, because I was thinking about this today, and it came to me in a flash, and I was like, that's just perfect. So my headcanon is. My character, I said my personal headcanon is that I kept leaking Conrad's Doctor Who stories early, so he drove me onto the streets as an act of revenge. And I personally like to believe this. I like to believe that he was going to try and start reading, like, The Timeless Children, and I went, psst, by the way, everyone, The Timeless Child's the Doctor. And he was like, take him away. Take him away now. That's what I like to believe happened to my alternate universe self. That's what I like to believe happened. I also want to shout out actually this really funny video. So you know how everyone in like Russell T Davies 2 gets like a bunch of flashbacks and a big reveal? Someone did. I was like, oh, someone suggested, oh, someone should do that for you, and I was like, oh my god, please do it. And someone did, thanks to the huge Chad Agnor, who literally did just do this, and it's the funniest thing ever. I'm going to play it because it's so good. Hopefully I don't get claimed for this. I don't think I will, but hopefully I don't.
It's like a glimpse in the corner of my eye, like you can remember something.
I love the Sussex music as well.
Wait a minute, that's me.
By the way, that is really old, so they did their digging later. Because my real name is Thomas Harris. Universe. I was the one that did it, guys. I'm Omega. Sorry. Spoilers for next week, I guess. I am Omega. There's no other way I can say it. I am he and he is me. Alan Wilkinson, thank you for the £2. You chatty git. Oh, thank you. It's the guy from Doctor Who. It sure is. Here I am. Which extra agency are you with? I'm not. I'm not actually a normal extra. Again, it was kind of a one-off. However, having said that, I would like to do it again, because it was genuinely just fun. So I might take up extra work just as a spare time gig, because I genuinely just found it fun. It was just a fun time. But I actually wasn't with one, probably. I did get, for the person who asked, I did get paid a normal extras day salary. I said to them, I was like, I'd have done it for free. And they're like, we know, but, we kind of legally have to pay you money. And I'm like, that's fair enough. I don't want to, like, cause Babel Studios to get, like, investigated. Petition to get Tharies for the don't forget to subscribe to the official Doctor Who YouTube channel. That would be the highest honour of my life. Well, yeah, it's funny, because, like, I've actually been added to the TARDIS wiki now. Which is like, oh my god, they actually did it. I'm on the TARDIS wiki. Who'd have thought? It's such a shock seeing Thomas Harry's commentary YouTuber. That's the thing, like... Remember when I was a commentary YouTuber? Most of you probably were here for that. It's better that you weren't. Not the first time you've been on TV, this is true. But it's probably my favourite appearance, for obvious reasons. What was it like seeing Millie perform the scene live? That's a good question. Very good. She's a very good actress. It's funny because the line where she's talking about Conrad being the god of Earth, it's quite a wordy one, so we had to go over that one a fair few times, but she was very professional, very good at what she did. Yeah, it's funny as well, actually, because the scene, when you're doing the scene live, it's a lot slower in, like sort of pace, if that makes sense. You can really tell that they're, like, you know, try and speed things up in the edit, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, I get it, you know, they've got a 45-minute, that's your gap. But I was like, oh yeah, it felt like a lot more, how do I put it, like a play watching it live, but then I guess that might also just be my personal feeling, because I was there seeing it happen in front of me, but I guess, like, it felt more somber, but then I guess also there wasn't, like, a backing track to it live. Omega Mask in the background, Harry's playing Omega confirmed. I need an Omega Mask. That's got to be the next one. I don't know anyone who sells Omega Masks, but hopefully someone does eventually, because I would buy one, for sure. Absolutely, I would. Did you see the TARDIS out? What was that like as a file which I use? Sick. As I said in my video, I unfortunately didn't get to go on it because it was having maintenance done on it at the time. So I didn't get to go on it. Plus it was at like the very end of the day, so like I think, you know, they were probably like, that's when they were doing maintenance on it, which makes sense. But yeah, new Omega design leaked. I saw something about that. I'm not going to show it in a video because it might not even be true, but if it is, I mean, I'll say I'm not a big fan of it if that's the real design. I'll say that much. But I'm not going to show it because I don't want to, like, spread false stuff. Someone said it's AI. It could be. It could be. Who knows at this point? Did you manage to go up the Theres ramp? No, unfortunately not. That is one thing I wish I could do, but maybe next time, you know, who knows. The thing is, I'm just happy with what I got. It's also people being like, oh, I bet you wish it was longer, and it's like, to be honest, I genuinely would have done it with a bag over my head. I would, you know, like, it's Doctor Who. If they asked me to do anything, I'd have been like, yeah, you know? They could have made me the ugliest creature ever, which I know is a far stretch of the imagination. Where's the Omega League? Reddit, I believe. If you want to find it, you can find it, but I'm not going to share it here just in case. Theres, the god of theories. Yes. Very good. Thank you, Stephen Taylor, for the £5 super chat. What was Millie Gibson like? Was Unleashed at the filming? And what's your favourite episode of the RTD2 era? You got quite a few questions in there. I'll start first of all. Millie Gibson was very good. She was like quieter than Ruth Manley, I think, but that also might be because like it was obviously they'd have been filming a long time. When I got there, it's worth bearing in mind that it was late April, I want to say. So people were pretty tired by that point because I think they ended filming in May. But she was lovely, you know. She was very professional and stuff like that. Was Unleashed at the filming? I don't believe so, unfortunately. However, I will say Doctor Who magazine were there, and there were also people taking promo shots as well. So hopefully some of those come out. Because I would love to see an official promo shot of us all there. Because there was a promo shot towards the end of all of the Dispossessed crew together, which I really hope does make it to release. Favourite RTD2 episode? It's probably still Wild Blue Yonder, but if you're talking about just Shooty particularly, either Lux or Boom. One of the two. Probably Lux. Lux is a favourite. I'd say Boom is probably like one of the best quality-wise. I also really like Dot and Bubble as well. I also really like quite a few of them. I mean, I like The Whale as well. It would have been cool if you were Unleashed. Very true. I mean, yeah, it's funny because I was watching the Unleashed today and they didn't show my scene, but they showed the scene prior to that, which is the scene outside in the encampment outside. Because I'm only in the interior scene. I'm not in the exterior one. And I'm glad I wasn't for the reasons I outlined in the video. You know, it would have just been a nightmare because everyone would have gone, it's you! And I'd be like, well, how am I supposed to keep this quiet for a year? They've all seen me. So I'm kind of glad I wasn't, but it was really cool seeing the thought process of the encampment, because they had, like, obviously the accessibility coordinator there. And something I didn't know, if you've watched Unleashed, they say in that they deliberately made everything different colours, so that, like, people with visual impairments could, like, see everything more clearly, because, you know, different colours means that it's easier for them to spot things. I just thought, I didn't even think about that, you know, that's something that I didn't even think about. And I thought, it's just very cool to learn about. You know, it's the guy from Doctor Who, but well, I'm keeping very well. The new leaked Omega is fake AI. Oh, that's good. Darius is having to keep quiet for a week on how he is Omega. I know. Oh, it's so funny. I mean, let me find... There's a really funny bit on the TARDIS wiki, and I mean, I know that, like, this is the like, fandom wiki, and I know there's some thing with, like, the fandom wiki, but I'm only showing it because it's funny. In fairness, Your Honour, it was funny. Let me get it up. I put this on Twitter, so you've probably already seen it, but if you haven't, on the TARDIS wiki, in the list of uncredited actors, you've got all the Doctors, plus William Hartnell as the Abbot of Ambrose. Then you've also got the Rani, Kate O'Mara, archive footage, Omega, Stephen Thorne, archive footage, the Master, Anthony Ainley, archive footage, and then just Tharius. What a lineup! It's so weird. It's such a strange list of people. It's just like, what? But it's there, and it's mad. I haven't quite gotten over it yet. I probably never will, but of course the series goes on. But gamers, chat. I do have to address something. I have been hit, and I knew this would happen, like, coming out of this. I have been hit with the shill allegations. I have been hit with the only reason I like this era is because this scene exists and because I filmed this scene. And while I'm not going to, like, totally say that, like, you know, obviously I don't have an extreme fondness for that day, and, you know, that's obviously, I do genuinely like a lot of the episodes of this era, and I don't think that I could have lied about that for, a year. Like, I just don't think I could have. And also, if I was really, that bought out, I don't think I'd have said all the things I said about Empire of Death. I'm gonna be so real. It's just funny seeing people be like, oh, yes. You wouldn't believe how much RTD paid him to hate Empire. It's like, exactly, it's like, do you think they were like, yeah, please hate that episode for us? Like, no, it's so funny. But then it's also funny because then people are like, oh, well, you're ungrateful if you're negative. And I'm like, oh, I can't win. Either I'm a shill because, I was on it and I like the era, or I'm too negative. I can't win. The hate is just so forced, it's just jealousy. Like, I've been hesitant to really speak on the hate. To be honest, I've mainly just been kind of blocking and ignoring things, which I do think is the right call. And I think for some people, no matter what I say, they will have their own opinion on me no matter what. But I know my own opinions. I know what I think about this era. I know what I like about it. I know what I dislike about it. And yeah. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah, exactly. It's like, if I dislike something, then, I'm being too critical and ungrateful. If I like something, I'm being a I can't win. No, I am on the TARDIS wiki as well. Hold on. Let me get it up. But the reason I showed the fandom wiki is I just thought the list was funny because it put me right next to the Rani, Omega, and the Mask. Which I think was just funny. Let me get it up. Oh, also, I wanted to say, I'll cover this in a sec, but I remembered the name of the person who I was talking about. The person I talked about in the video, where I said that they were on S4C production, but they didn't pay to actually, for her to be there. Oh my god, they actually did do a little bio on me as well. Look, hold on. Thomas Harris, born 12th of July 2003, also known by his username Harris, is a YouTuber who appeared as an uncredited camp resident in Wishworld. Oh, actually, I can actually tell you guys the official name of my character as well. That's another thing I want to say. You guys want to hear the epic official name of my character? It'll blow your mind. My official character name is Dispossessed Man number 28. So you can put that on the wiki because I've got the emails. That's what I'm credited as. Well, not credited as because it's not in the credits, but that's what I was on paper listed as. Dispossessed Man number 28. So there you go. Big finish. If you want the box set, there it is. Thoughts on what 14 is up to through all this? Probably just chilling, have a pina colada, you know? I would. I'd just be like, yeah, let him deal with it. Let the new one deal with it. It would be funny to put that on your birthday. You know, maybe I should. Maybe I should start signing off official documents with that. Dispossessed Man 28 is very Battles in Time card coded. No, genuinely, if I was on the show 10 years ago, I definitely would have like a Trop Trumps card. I imagine my agility skills would be quite low. What's it mean by dispossessed? So it's like, obviously, the nickname for the people in the encampment is the dispossessed because obviously we've just kind of been left out of the society and kind of shunted off to the side in like Comrade's vision. So that's why they call us the dispossessed. It's just kind of the phrase that they used. We're the ones who are ignored. Exactly. Also, Sam, I wanted to see. I saw your comment that you were there on that day. Let me get you up on my screen so I can see your face better, so I can remember you because I can see your profile picture. Oh yes, I remember you now. Hello, Sam. Yes. Hello. No, I just couldn't see your screen in my little preview window, so I was like, oh, there we go. Yeah, Sam was great. You were actually like really good at it. You had a lot more to do than me. I just, all I had to do was sit there and smile and wave. Winnie, yes, you did fantastically. Theres needs to come back. Well, look. I would be more than happy to. No, that's completely fine, Sam. No, I completely get that 100%. Like it was a very hectic day. Yeah, no, completely. That's completely fair enough. You did a fantastic job. You were obviously, signing and stuff as well. Yeah, very, very well done. Everyone, go and say hi to Sam. Also, I wanted to shout out because I remembered her name. Jenna Pierce is the person who I wanted to shout out. She was the one who was the S4C actress. Well, she doesn't just do S4C, but S4C is the Welsh-speaking channel, which is what she's primarily on. And I wanted to shout her out because I just thought that story was really messed up. And I feel like people need to know that these things happen, you know? Are you listed on IMDb under uncredited? I haven't actually looked. Should I look? I'll look live. Why not? I'll look. I'll have a look. IMDb. How would I even find out? I don't really use IMDb. Do I just search my name and see if it comes up? Problem is, I think there's more than one of me. People. Maybe under. Don't think I am, but maybe I'm not looking hard enough. If you guys find it, let me know. But wait. Put my full name in. Put my full address, ID, passport. No. Don't think I am. No, I don't think I am. Unless I was on an episode of the Jonathan Ross show, which I don't think I was. I could be wrong, but I don't remember it if I was. Winnie spin-off when? Yeah, give Winnie a spin-off. That's what you should do. Benjamin Cook has just confirmed that Omega hasn't really leaked. Well, there you go. Benjamin Cook has just confirmed the leak's not real. Panic over, everyone. Did you get to meet the cast members? I only met the ones I was on set with, so I only met Ruth and Millie. Unfortunately, I didn't meet Shooty, but I got to meet him at conventions, so that's not too bad. It's funny too, that's another story I can tell. When I was at, where was I? London, I think. Millie Gibson was doing London Film and Comic Con, and I went to her bit. I went and got a picture with her, and when I went to the autograph table, I was like, oh, I was in the, episode 7 in the camp. She's like, oh yeah, so that was nice. I couldn't talk about that when I spoke about Comic Con, obviously, because it's secret, but there you go. That'd be awesome, and I think she needs a chair like Shirley's with a rocket launcher. Yes, I mean, I want one of those, frankly. If they're going to start giving them out, I want one. Darius is the next show, and I've often thought, would I even want that? Because, it would be fun, but also, I don't know whether I'd deal with the pressure. Harry says better acting resume than Jared Leto. Made up for you, dude. Thanks everyone. I genuinely, it's been a bit overwhelming, all the comments and stuff. It's one of those things that's just the Raleigh scooter with a seat. Yes, we could be Wallace and Gromit, with the little side seat thing. Hey there, he's just joined the stream. The leaks really threw a curveball when they said you'd appear in Lux. Glad to see you finally got involved in the show. Well, this is the funny thing, I very specifically, if you can go back and find the stream, I very specifically said, guys, I'm not in Lux. And I wasn't. I wasn't in Lux. I wasn't lying. I didn't mean I wasn't in another episode, but no one asked me that. They said, are you in Lux? And I said no. Thought on the Rogue return. I thought it was cute. I don't know whether he's going to come back again, though, because in the behind the scenes, they seem to imply that was filmed just after they'd filmed Rogue, so it's kind of an extra thing. I made you a TARDIS wiki entry. Specterius, salute to you. Doing God's work. Going back to watch the rest of the War Games in colour commentary. It's been very good so far. Oh, let me know how it is, Rebecca. Let me know how it is. I'll have to give it a listen. Your character died in Empire of Death, but everyone gets brought back at the end of that. So he's alive. I don't know what happened to him in Reality War, unless that entire time. But then again, I suppose the implication is that that is just an alternate version of the timeline that exists. So presumably, there's a not, homeless version of me that exists in the Doctor Universe somewhere. Maybe. Maybe not. I'm upset I didn't clock you in the episode, but my partner did. He was like, I thought you looked familiar. Yeah, no, don't worry, even my family, my nan was calling me, be like, which bit are you in? And I was like, it's the bit it's in the wide shots in the encampment. And then, is your character real or just a wish thing? I mean, I presume he's real. I presume that, obviously his life would be different in the regular universe. I presume he's real, although I will say, I think there is something ironic about being in an episode called Wish World, where, objectively, that, on a real one, being in Doctor Who has always been, a massive just wish of mine in general, and, ever since I was, 5, So the fact that that actually happened was really nice. Terry's joined Big Finish. Oh, I'm getting a lot of Big Finish comments. I mean, look, you'll have to talk to them. I wouldn't say no. I'd be here for it, but I don't know whether they're going to do a whole box set for Dispossessed Man number 28. I mean, look, I wouldn't say no to it. Could you do an overall episode ranking once season 2 is finished? Yes, I will. If we see Susan next week, what's your hope for that scene? I think I would rather like it just be them finally reuniting. I don't think I want anything deeper than that. I'm really worried that they're going to add too much lore to her, and I wouldn't be a fan of that. Did you tell your family? Yes. I told my family and a few friends that I know who wouldn't say anything. And to be fair, they didn't, so props to them. There were a couple of close calls, and also, fun fact, I actually tried to schedule the tweet to go out around the time... Ooh, hold on. Sorry, update. Whoop. There's an update on the Disney deal. Hang on. I just saw this, so I'm going to talk about it, because it just came up on my timeline. BBC. With Doctor Who being co-produced with Disney+, one of the factors will be whether BBC and the streamer decide to renew the arrangement, and what alternatives could be explored if they decide not to. And those kind of discussions take a significant amount of time. Interesting. So the implication there seems to be they're having those conversations currently, seemingly, which would kind of imply that probably the Disney deal isn't going to continue. I don't know. Let me have a look. It's the Doctor Who and Last of Us finales. What's coming up this week? This is by Lisa and Azimba. Okay, Lisa and Azimba is plugged in, so... Interesting. So yeah, that's all they say. As for the show itself, 6 months ago, Russell said no decision would be made on commissioning Series 3 until after Season 2 had broadcast. With Doctor Who being co-produced with Disney+, one of the factors will be whether the BBC and the streamer decide to renew that arrangement and what alternatives could be explored if they decide not to, and those kind of decisions take a significant amount of time. Interesting. There you go. Very interesting. I don't know whether that's just kind of him, you know, extrapolating, or whether there is any, like, additional context to that. It is funny that I'm on Disney. Does that mean I'm a Disney princess, guys? Oh my god, there's a canon version of you that got possessed in Torchwood Children of Earth. Oh my god, there is. Little 6-year-old Theres was there. I wonder if I was sent away. Do you use Linux? No, I'm a Windows man, I'm afraid. I'm a Windows man through and through. Although I will say, my computer keeps bugging me to update to Windows 11, and I simply refuse. I had it once, and it was awful, so I went back. I think Disney needs to go, personally. I think with the budget, gotta go focus as I had this assignment to do. Good night, folks. Good night, Sam. Stay in touch, Sam. If you ever want to, you know, chat or anything, stay in touch. You're in the giggle fighting people thinking you're right. Yeah. Guys, I told you heat by generate. I was right. Everyone go give their love to Sam. Sam's a legend. You'll be on Who Culture's Easter egg video? Yeah, I didn't think about that. Did not think about that. Funny. Yeah, I just spoke about it, Dan Ben. You just missed it. Do you want the Disney deal to continue? I guess from an optics perspective, it's good, but I wonder if a lack of a deal could force creative changes. It's a difficult one. I've thought about this myself a fair amount, and for me, I think optically, I agree. I think it would be better if it stayed, because I just don't think it would be a great look, and it would vindicate all the wrong people, in my opinion. However, there is another part of me that thinks... I think it would be good to have someone else. Oh wait, well, viewers will also be keen to discover whether the episode will shed light on the future of its star. Wait, where does it say that? In the same article? I was just there. You mean the Last of Us one, right? Oh yeah, viewers will also be keen to discover whether the episode will shed light on the future of its star and indeed the show itself. You're right. Hold on. I missed that bit. Viewers will also be keen to discover whether the episode shed light on the future of its star and the show itself. Interesting. I mean, it might not. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if, like, it'd be really funny if Gatwa did just stay. And, like, obviously there is that rumour. I think I can talk about it because I've spoken about it in a video. People have been talking about it. Obviously, you know, that whole Billy Piper rumour. I hope that's BS, personally. I think it probably is. But, yeah. I will say right now, as much as I loved being on the show and stuff, I would not be happy if that decision was made. I can put that on record. I think it would just be kind of a sign of like, oh, you know, we're really struggling. Thank you, Rob Del Tony, for the $10 super chat. I don't know how, but tell Confused Adipose that your appearance in Wishworld is Dispossessed Man 28 needs to be referenced in the TBD podcast title for the Wishworld discussion. Oh, yes. I mean, funny you should say that because we are filming the Confused Adipose collab podcast tomorrow at around 6 p.m. I think. Obviously, you won't see it then, but that's when it's being recorded. I remember because last time I was late. The Dispossessed 28 would be a great title. Or I guess the Dispossessed 5. I'll have a chat to him. Might be a bit long. Are you excited for the finale next week? Yes, but I am also nervous. I'm also nervous. I will say as well, I had no idea it would be on in the cinemas. I had absolutely no knowledge of that. So when I found out that it was going to be on in cinemas, obviously I found that out before. The episode came out. So I was like, oh my god, I couldn't be in a normal episode. I had to be in the cinemas. But no, that's really funny though. Do you return in part 2? I'm afraid not. I can confirm. I'm only in part 1. There was a picture of your scene in Who Cultures Up and Downs at Wishworld. You were on screen longer in that than the actual episode. Yeah, probably. That Davros head is too realistic, freaking me out. He's just a little guy, you know, he's just chilling. You know, he's not harming anyone. There's in widescreen. Yeah. There, that means we'll be able to see the cameo on the big screen. I'm sure to point and clap like a Marvel cameo. Like when Stan Lee shows up, or like you know when like all the kids laugh at like Chicken Jockey in Minecraft. By the way, I watched that movie recently, and it was terrible. It was really bad. Like, it was a really bad movie. I'm sorry. Who shrunk that Cyberman? The Master. They might do a previously on. Oh, you mean for episode 8 going from episode 7? Tharies appears. Tharies throws popcorn and claps. Don't be mean to cinema workers, though. Don't do that. As one thing I hate is like you gotta be respectful of the cinema workers. Imagine you see on the news popcorn getting thrown, staff attacked, and police called at Tharies cameo. Tharies is my generation's chicken jockey. What is your main hope for reality? Well, bar it being good. I think just that like they don't mess with the lore too much. You know, especially around Susan. I think that's one where I'm like, I don't want them to overdo it with that. I might give you a little clap when you appear and see if anyone follows. It'd be really funny if you were the only one doing it. I mean, funnily enough, I am going to see it with some friends, and I'm going to see it. One of the people who's going to be there is Doctor Who Film and Locations. Obviously, he knows I'm in it. So it's very possible that they could clap. And Atomize, who's in chat, is going with me too. There is Susan confirmed. I would never steal that from Carol Ann Ford. Did you see how happy she was being back on Doctor Who? Did you see that really wholesome video of her with Verada Sethu? Like, that's just amazing. Like, even though... Because here's the thing, chat. I think people are a lot more into, like, Susan conceptually than they, like, are in practice. Because in practice, I'm not going to lie, in her actual era, the character isn't all that. However, I think Carol Ann Ford was so happy to be back that I was hyped for that reason. Because she's wanted this for 20 years, and she finally got it. And I think that's really nice. Maybe Theres is the boss from the Starbeast, they start explaining. Doctor Who Christmas 2025, what do you think? Probably not. Especially if Shooty is at a play, I just don't see how you could do it. Especially given we're already, heading towards June. Like, if they were, it'd be cutting it very fine. In the main timeline, you're king of Dugadoo world. Yeah, that's it. That's canon. We're locking that in. I'm king of Dugadoo world. When's going to be your second appearance? I mean, ask them. I'll have no... The thing is, I guarantee now, anytime a new series comes out, they're going to be like, oh, when are you going to be in it? I'll be like, I don't know. I'd love to do it. I would do anything they asked me to do, you know? Conrad is your favourite character. I don't know whether I go that far. He may be homeless, you know? Fun fact, they're still doing the Dugadoo 24-hour live stream. Yeah, I mean, they're still doing the TARDIS one too. You'll be able to buy yourself on Blu-ray. Oh my god, I hadn't even considered that. Yeah. I'm going to be on a Blu-ray. That's weird, isn't it? When do you think the war between land and sea will have? Well, that Mirror article, which was Nicola Metvin, said they would push it back to 2026. And I'm inclined to believe her on the basis that she has, a great track record. So I'm going to say they probably will push it back to 2026. Harry's Barbie when. I highly doubt I'm going to get any toys. I'm going to be real with you. They barely even give toys to the companions these days. Maybe they'll give a release date in the trailer at cinemas. I hope so. The best case scenario, right, for the cinema release is... Oh, you mean for A War Between? I thought you meant for Doctor Who Season 3. The best case scenario would be... because we know we're getting a preview for... we know we're getting a preview for War Between at the end of the finale. My kind of best case would be they say the Doctor will return 2026. It won't be 2026 because there's just no time. But that would be the dream scenario. Theres appearing at Cinema EU next. Theres, my dad thought that Rogue was the War Doctor. Help! You must have thought. John Hurt was doing great guns. I miss the days of Destroy Cassandra, kind of. I was having this conversation with a friend the other day, actually. It's really funny how, oh my god, my stream just died. Are we still alive? Okay, well, I think the tab just died. No, wait, are we still good? I think we're still fine. If you can still hear me, say something in chat. It's really funny how we went from one extreme to the other. Yep, still live. Okay, good. The tab just crashed briefly. It's really funny how we went from one extreme to the other. We went from everyone gets figures and merchandise and cards to nobody. That's kind of the transition. I'm paying £5 just to see Terry's at the View. I could just watch him on YouTube. To be fair, if it makes you feel any better, I don't get any of the royalties from the cinema tickets. Miss the secret of Days of the Chibnall Era? They ruin everything. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. The Chibnall Era was just as bad. I'm going to be so honest. The whole reason why I have a channel is because the Chibnall Era had this stuff too. Captain Jack leaked. The Timeless Child leaked. Fugitive Doctor, that leaked. All of Power of the Doctors leaked, actually. Ace and Tegan being backed, and the classic Doctors, that leaked. A lot of Flux leaked as well. Like, a lot of the Chibnall Era leaked. The difference was the show was like there was just a lot less marketing material, so people kind of forgot. When things leaked in RTD1, it's inevitable of any TV show that like exists in the internet age. I think with like whether leaks impact your enjoyment depends on the individual. I know some people hate knowing anything going in. I think sometimes it can kind of prepare you if you're not like open to an idea initially. But then also like it can also ruin the surprise. So it's kind of a weird one. I think there's arguments for both sides. But I think I'm like obviously with when I was on it, I as I say in the video, I was very much like, don't tell me anything more. Because, you know, I had no idea that Ronnie was coming back or that, you know, Omega was coming back or any of that, you know. That was all genuine surprise to me. All I knew is that this comrade bloke ain't a good bloke. That was the main thing I knew. Leaks always increased my curiosity. That's the thing, I think it is just dependent on the individual. For some people, it'll, like, help your enjoyment. For some people, it'll hamper it. It really just depends on the person, I think. Would you like a clean character if you return? I mean, yeah, that'd be nice. I won't lie. I mean, I don't hate my outfit, but I don't think it's my greatest look. You know, I don't think I'll be wearing it recreationally. But then also, it was very comfortable, to be fair, so swings and roundabouts. At least I didn't have to be like a Cyberman, just stuck in one of those. I mean, look, being a Cyberman will be awesome, but also it looks incredibly uncomfortable. Derry dresses yourself for Comic-Con. You know, I did actually consider trying to put the outfit, like, replicating it for the video. I just ran out of time. I want a Titan vinyl Derry's figure. Yet again, we get one every, like, blue moon. Who are my top 3 for the next Doctor to be? I don't know. I've always thought Michael Sheen would be good, but that's a very basic choice. At the end of every Darius video, I still expect the member shout-outs. My brain won't ever forget that. Yeah, no, it's funny with that. The problem was, it kept getting so long that, like, you know, it was taking up, like, 30 seconds to a minute of the video. So I did decide to cut that. I do want to do more stuff for members, but I'm just trying to figure out, you know, what to do with it. Oh, clean as in new character. Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah. I don't really know what else you could do with Dispossessed Man number 28. David Tennant is the bookie's favourite to return. I mean, water is wet, you know? Like... Do you think they've cast a 16th Doctor? I'm doubtful, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if conversations were happening, but I don't think they've got anyone locked in, if I'm completely honest. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I don't see why you would if you weren't sure what the future of the show was at this point, which they seem to be suggesting. Thary's Ram is better than Dispossessed Man number 28. To be fair, we never see the Thary's Ram. That's one of my beefs. It's like, you named the Ram after me, and I'm very grateful, but where is it? No one's used it. Also, my mum went to the market today, and she found some people selling Doctor Who stuff, and she got me this. Hold on, I'll show you. It's a classic series pin. There you go. It's like the 70s logo, but the colourful one. You should have got a picture with the Thary's Ram. You know, they could always invite me again, Mark. Any excuse to go again. Who do you think could play Omega this Saturday? I said this before. Make it Matt Berry. Make it Matt Berry. Be funny. Can you not see it? Thary's been excellent companion, so we can see him use the ramp. See, this is the way. This is the way. This is what we do. My mum is best mates with Millie Gibson's auntie, and her auntie is getting married in a few months. I'm hoping Millie's auntie gets drunk and tells her loads of the Doctor Who gossip at the wedding. Yeah. Give Matt Berry a better role where he'd actually be in it. Yeah, okay, I hear you. I just think it'd be funny. To be fair, Brian Blessed played him in a fan project once. Thary, did you get any autographs? No, I mean, it's kind of, it's different when you're on set. It's kind of like seen as kind of a taboo to ask. And obviously, I don't think I would have anyway because they're at work. So yeah, I didn't. But I have otherwise. I mean, I've met both Ruth and Millie at conventions. So I got both of them to sign things there. But not at the filming itself. I'd save Matt Berry for Doctor or Monk. Oh, Matt Berry as the Monk would be fun. That'd be good. Yeah, no, I see that actually. You've convinced me. Matt Berry as the Monk could be the way to go. Not Matt Berry, Omega should be treated seriously. Fair. I'm just very glad that that fake Omega design is fake. The crab one. I'm just very glad that that wasn't real. Biggest flop return from Classic Who to New Who. Sutek. I'm sorry to say it. They did my boy dirty. And I love him, but I do think they did him dirty. People said we were lovers. Russell, what are you cooking? To be fair, I didn't mind that because I saw people saying, like, when were they ever implied to that? And to be fair, they did say people, not that they were. Hard disagree. Surely he was the best thing about the series. I don't know though, because I kind of think, okay, when I pictured a Sutek return, right, I pictured like him going around and like doing all this cool stuff, and they still have him just kind of sit in the same place. Like, he doesn't do a lot. Yeah, he destroys the universe, but that's mainly because of his like minions. I just feel like, I don't know, he just doesn't do a lot, you know? He's not really that relevant to the story at hand. And also, why does he want to know Ruby's, like, mum? Like, he doesn't care about humans. One of his main lines is, to the Doctor is, why do you travel around with such, like, insignificant, like, beings? He calls the Doctor an insect. Do you really think he cares about one, like, girl's, you know, one girl's, like, mum? Like, he wouldn't, you know? I could rant about Empire of Death so long. Oh, see? This is how you know I'm not paid off. Do you reckon anyone will die in Reality War? Probably not, although I would like to see a death. Someone said not the Sea Devils. See, the thing about the Sea Devils is they already had Warriors of the Deep. So they'd already kind of, experienced the dodgy episode. For Sutek, he had one of the best episodes ever made. So I think the downgrade is bigger. Does that make sense? Why the snow? Exactly. It's like, what's the snow got to do with it? And that's why I think Season 2's better. Because Season 2, its stuff, ties in. So, for example, when the Doctor's like, oh, can't tell you how I know who you are, Belinda, gotta be careful about timelines. And then you see Conrad telling him, you're like, okay, that makes sense. Or, when it's revealed that the Rani was having the Doctor travel around with the Vindicator so she could create a web to kind of, power stuff. It's like, yeah, okay, it's a bit convoluted, but at least there's a payoff that makes some deal of sense. Why is there snow? The ending of Universe of the Second is him, and that makes sense to me. It makes sense that he would do it. I guess my argument is just that it just didn't really feel, very impactful to me. Does that make sense? He kind of does it, but it just doesn't really... I don't really feel, the weight of it. I mean, yeah, we have to assume that Rani has a TARDIS, because also, she picks up that baby from Bavaria in, 1875, so I assume that the Rani had a TARDIS. Yeah. I do wonder how she escaped Gallifrey. That is something I'm curious about. Maybe she was just off-world at the time. Doing something else. Man, Omega Bear would not be done dirty like Suzak. That's the thing. I just want to see the mask once. Russell, please. I'm begging you. Just show us the mask once, man. How do you think they portray Omega if he is coming back? I don't know, honestly. It's hard to really know. I'm glad that the crab thing isn't what they're doing. I'll put it that way. But it's hard to really know. Preferably more like the Three Doctors. I think where the Doctor's TARDIS is will be an interesting plot point because of the way the Rani said it in Wishworld. Yes, I think so too. There's definitely something to that because she says, "Do you ever wonder what happened to your precious TARDIS?" So that's definitely going to come back. Yeah, for sure. When was the last season better than this season, in your opinion? I would say this season better overall. However, I would say that I think the run of episodes from Boom to Dot and Bubble is pretty great. I think I would say as well, I prefer Rogue over its Star Song Contest. I prefer Dot and Bubble over Story in the Engine. I know that's controversial. Ooh, my dog's barking. Sorry. Maybe jump that did. 1 second. Oh, it's because there's fireworks going off. That's what it was. Sutek did it. Yeah, no, that's my dog. Bro nearly died. I got a major jump scare then. Yeah. Oh, DDW. Hello. Can't express how happy I am for you, man. Such a dream. It's going to be something that randomly hits you throughout the rest of your life, like damn, I was in Doctor Who. Yeah, it still hasn't fully sunk in even a year after filming it. The people are celebrating Darius in Doctor Who with fireworks. True. It's actually caused rapturous celebration in the streets of Cardiff. No. I don't know why they're setting off. Is something happening today? Yeah, side rant. Why has it become socially acceptable to just let off fireworks at any time of year? I get it for bonfire night and New Year's, but why has it become fashionable to just let them off any time now? And also, when it is bonfire night, they go on for about 2 weeks. I'm becoming a boomer, but come on. Darius Mania. Well, what do you think about the leaks about Billy Piper being 16? I hope they're not true, I'll be honest. Yeah, my dog has bad anxiety with fireworks. To be honest, most of them do. Most of them don't like fireworks. I guess they're celebrating the world still being here, maybe. Maybe they were like, oh, we were supposed to die yesterday. We didn't. Male or female Doctor for 16? I have no preference. I just think cast whoever you think is best. I mean, I get that optically you'd probably want to do another female Doctor because obviously you don't want it to look like, you know, like Jodie was an outlier or something. But also, if there's a really good, like, male actor, I wouldn't feel comfortable in going no just because of that. Does that make sense? I kind of just think anyone that they think is good, cast them. That's how we got Shooty, so... I think Matt Berry should play everyone in season 3. I love him. True, true. Where does Shooty rank in the Doctor's View? I don't know, because the difficulty is he doesn't feel like he's had like enough time yet. And I know that you could say that like he's had more time than Eccleston, but like with the amount of like Doctor Light stories, it's just hard to rank him at the moment. It's just hard to rank him, really. I think he'd be pretty high. I don't know. It's hard to really know because I think he's come along leaps and bounds in this series. I like Shooty, I like 15, but I don't know where I would rank him yet. It just feels too early, you know? Like, God bless people who do rankings, you know, now. It's fair enough. But for me, I think I'd rather wait until, you know, whatever happens, you know, when it ends. Russell's Series 1 versus Season 1 is so sad to think about. Yes, but counterpoint, Russell's Season 2 to Series 2, I'd say Season 2 is the better one. I have never thought that highly of Series 2, and Season 2 hasn't had a Fear Her or an Idiot's Lantern in it. So as far as I'm concerned, and also I don't find 15 and Belinda nearly as annoying. To be honest, like, and this is the thing, I said on Twitter, like, I think that this series, if it sticks to the landing, could approach the top 5. And everyone claimed that I was being sacrilegious with that comment, but, like, I honestly think it could. I mean, if it does, if the finale is bad, yes, I will do that, Atomize, yes. No nonsense in Season 2 either, to be fair. True. Series 2's peak 10 rows always. See, this is the problem. I just don't... 10 and Rose are just... I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's a well-written, like, arc, and I believe them. I believe them as, like, you know, a romantic pairing. It's just not for me. You know, it's just not my preferred dynamic of Doctor and Companion. And that's fine. But, like, it just, for me, it feels like being in the third wheel in a relationship where you're, like, an outsider looking at. I don't love it, you know? It just feels a bit too, like, cutesy, you know? Series 2 is so mid. Yeah, this is the thing. I honestly think Season 2 is better. I'm gonna be real. I think... Because, like, Season 2, in my opinion at least, and I know this is also controversial, in my opinion, I don't think Season 2 has had a genuinely bad episode. The worst it gets, in my opinion, is Robot Revolution, which is, like, mid. Right? That's mid. You know, it's like a mid episode. It's a mid opener. Lux, I think, is fantastic. The Well, I think, is very good. It doesn't quite, you know, it doesn't reach the same levels as Midnight, and I do think that it kind of does itself a disservice with the comparison, because I think Midnight is like a 10 out of 10 perfect episode, And then obviously The Well is not quite as good. However, I still think The Well is great. You know, I do enjoy it. Lucky Day, I think, is great and one of my favourites this year, which is surprising because if you'd have told me that the Unit Pete one would be one of my favourites this year, I wouldn't have believed you. If you'd have told me that prior to broadcast. Story of the Engine, I think, is a really unique story as well. I know that Interstellar is controversial. I think it's on the weaker end, but I do still enjoy it a fair amount. And then obviously Wishworld I think is good too. Although I do think that I am worried with the amount of things that they've been I do think there's a bit too many remember this thing in in Wishworld. Because I think, to be honest, I think the whole thing with Conrad's alternate society could be a finale in and of itself. I don't know whether you need Omega as well as the two Ranis. Do you know what I mean? I love Omega. Don't get me wrong, and it's hype to see him. But I'm but does he fit? You know, does he need to be? That's my kind of thing. I guess we don't know until next week. Interstellar and Robot Rev are the worst too. I agree. But even then, I don't think it goes below, mid for me. Whereas, I think Fear here is worse than anything in this series. I would say. And, I'd also say, okay, so here's the thing. Here's how I could do this off the dome, how I would rank the series at the moment. At the moment, it's probably something like... the three Chibnall ones are kind of interchangeable for me. But they are at the bottom. Sorry to say, Chibnall fans, they just are. It's just not for me. Then probably, this is going to be a controversial one, Series 9, then Series 7, then Series 8, Series 2, because I forgot about Series 1. Hold on, let me start again. So, the Chibnall ones, organise them how you want. Series 9, Series 7, Season 1, and then Series 8, Series 2, Series 6, Series 10, Series 3, 1, 4, 5. I think I got them all. I can't take the normalization of Series 7 standard. Look, I like it more than most people, but let's be honest with ourselves. It's not the highest one up there. So yeah, if you guys are curious, currently it's you know what? I'm just gonna open up a tab. I'm just gonna type it into here. So it would be from worst to best. I'll just put the Chibnall ones because they all kind of intersect. So Chibnall, 9, 7, I think 8. I'll just put 14 for the sake of differentiation. 2, 6. No, not 2, sorry. 2. I feel like I'm missing one. What am I missing? No, that is right. 2. Wait, no, because 6 was 6 above before? I'll put 6 above for now. Because I don't know how it... Well, actually... no, I'll put 2, 6... 15... what am I missing? And then 10... 3... 1... 4... Something like that. Probably. Something like that. probably a bit controversial. There we are. There we're at. That's where we're at, chat. That's what she wrote. I did contemplate putting Series 6 above this one. My thinking was, even though I like it, Series 6... Well, you can't see it. Couldn't even see it. 14/9 is crazy. I'm just not a big Series 9 guy. I never have been. Oh, oh my god. It was in the way of the text the whole time. Damn. You know what? I'll take a screenshot. Screen E. Here we go. Right. Series. So it would probably be something like this. So the Chibnall ones, 9, 7, 8, Series 1, Series 2, Series 6, Series 15, Series 10, Series 3, Series 1, Series 4, Series 5. To be fair, I think if Series 15 does badly, I could see it going below Series 6 in terms of its conclusion. But if it does well, it's possible it could overtake Series 10. I love Series 10, don't get me wrong. But you do have to deal with the Monk Trilogy and also Eaters of Light. So, but that's how I rank them. It's funny, really, because with like the Russell 2 series, for everyone who says like I'm a massive like shill, they're not even like that crazily high. I don't think this is an unreasonable ranking. You know, some people who are more Capaldi brain than I am probably are not happy with it. But like, other than that, I feel like that's not an insanely unreasonable ranking. No, that's above, yeah. So yeah, it's the other way around. Is worse to best, yeah. By the way, Tharius, do you think your cameo is even more important than District Hospital Helper 8 by the most popular actor Charles White? I do. We love Moist Critical on here. I do want Shooty to stay, yes. Chad Powell, underrated. Look, I put one of his series in the top 5. I'm just not a huge fan of the other two. Thing is, Series 8, for me, is saved by the Jamie Matheson scripts. Because Flatline and Mummy on the Express are fantastic. But, like, the rest of it... Obviously, you got In the Forest of the Night, which, you know, I mean, it has a whole nickname for a reason. You got Deep Breath, it's okay. Into the Dark, I actually quite like that one, kind of underrated. Robot Sherwood, never cared for it. What's after that? Time Heist, is it? Opinions on the Ronnie song, really like it. Low-key, kind of prefer it to 15s. Especially, I don't know whether you guys saw the behind the scenes, but they said that like the material of the Ronnie, or like the pattern of the Ronnie's original costume was used in the handle, which I think is a really cool touch. Series 8 is so good, give it another go. See, I gave it another go recently. I really don't... Oh, Listen. See, I've always found Listen very pretentious. I'm gonna say it. I think Listen's a little bit pretentious. And then you got. I really don't like The Caretaker. Either. Kill the Moon. No. Time Heist is mid. Yeah. Have you looked at the preview scene on Unleashed on the channel? You mean the next time on Doctor Who? Yeah, I've seen that one. I like a lot of elements of Series 8. I just don't think that it's the strongest run of episodes. Like, I'll be honest, and this might be controversial, I think that How many episodes has Shooty had? Someone do the quick maths. Because 8 and 8 is 16, take away 1's 15, and 2 Christmas specials. 17, right? 18 if you want to include the giggle, but it doesn't really feel like it counts. 18 after final, so 17 currently. I don't hate Capaldi. I think he's one of the best actors to do it. I'm just not a big fan of his early era. I know that's controversial these days. I know that Capaldi, the 12th Doctor, his era has undergone a renaissance, and I'm very happy, for that. But for me, it still just doesn't click, Someone's saying 19 with the giggle. Let's say I'll say for the sake of argument, let's say 18, because the giggle don't really count. Like he's there, but it's not really his episode. Let's say 18. So if I go on to I'll say Doctor Who Series 8, because I'm trying to compare it to like Capaldi's early run to kind of give you like a comparison of where my head's at, right? So if we go by Capaldi, obviously has 12 episodes plus Last Christmas, which is 13. So I think it would take you up to Before the Flood. Am I right? If we to do 18 episodes of Capaldi as well, I think roughly. Rogue with the TikTok green screen effect. Yeah, I did think that was like, what's going on there? Thirteen is also good, and that's my opinion. I respect that. The great thing about opinions is we're all allowed to have our own. That's the great thing about him. I really like the giggle. Yeah. Series 10 is when, like, Capaldi is, like, just perfect for me. But yeah, if we go by the logic of this, right, so I'm trying to get Capaldi's era up on, like, screen. So, up to now, obviously, we know where we're at in Shooty's era. Deep Breath, which is fine. Into the Dalek, which is pretty good. Robot Sherwood, don't care for it. Listen, don't really care for it. Time Heist, mid. The Caretaker is bad, and I don't even think Capaldi really likes that one. Kill the Moon, kinda bad. Mummy on the Orient Express and Flatline, legendary. These ones are great, to be fair. In the Forest of the Night, bad. Dark Water, Death in Heaven, pretty good. Like, they're not my favourite finales, and I do think there's some issues with them. Like, I am one of the people that does think that, like, the Don't Cremate Me stuff is probably a bit far for, Doctor Who, I think. Like, imagine explaining that to a kid, So that's 12 Capaldi episodes, right? And then if we go to Series 9, Last Christmas being 13, I've never thought very highly of that one. That's 13. 14, Magician's Apprentice, Witch Familiar. So 14 and 15, that's those two. One of my least favourite, like, modern Doctor Who episodes, to be honest. I really don't like these two. Under the Lake Before the Flood's pretty good. 16, 17. And then 18 would be Gil Who Died, actually, which is not great either. So, like, honestly, I mean, if I compare it to Shooty, you've got what? Let me skip ahead a couple. I'm going to skip ahead a couple here. I have to skip ahead a few. 1 second. Spam click. Specials. Okay. Church on Ruby Road. Meh. It's gone down a bit in my estimations, to be fair. Space Babies, not great. Devil's Call, I like this one. Boom, great. 73 yards, pretty great. I mean, it's pretty good. It's got some issues, but it's pretty good. Dot and Bubble, great. Love this one. Rogue, good. Legendary Sunday, that one's gone down since Empire Death. Empire Death, trash. And then, obviously, Series 15, Joy of the World, kind of mid. Rebel Revolution, it's like it's mid, but it's like good mid. I don't know if that makes any sense. Looks great. The WoW, very good. Lucky Day, great. Story and Engine, very good. Install Song Contest, kind of mid. Wish World, good. So on balance for me, I think Shooty might have the edge early on, but Series 10 is probably like better than anything he's had so far. So there you go. There you go. That's some controversy for you. Joy of the World was awful. Embarrassed watching that one with my family. Yeah, I mean, Joy of the World, for me, was kind of like all the reminders of like the bits I didn't like about Stephen Moffat Christmas specials, to be honest. Series 10 is good. Yeah, Empire of Death sucks bad. Yeah, I like Bill. Still uncomfortable with making Stuart a zombie Cyberman. IDK, love Missy though. Yeah, I don't like that either. It's like, why did you make him the one thing he spent his entire life fighting? I don't really get why you would do that. It just feels a bit odd, you know? Zygon Invasion, not a huge fan. Never had a better Christmas special than Christmas Carol. True! Very based. Very, very based. One thing I will give the Capaldi era, though, it does have stronger character work than the Shooty era does. Shooty era has the slight edge for episode preference, at least at this stage in the game, but I would say the Capaldi era has more going on character-wise. Having said that, though, I never really liked how his kind of, like, we see a bunch of his development happens off-screen between Series 8 and 9. World of Time Dark Falls, whenever we talk, it is so good. I rewatched it before Season 2 came out, probably around March. It is just fantastic. Capaldi era blows the current era as well as Chibnall out of the water by a long way. Sorry, Darius. I mean, if that's what you feel, that's what you feel. That's the great thing. I think Series 10 is better than anything in this era overall at the moment. Again, maybe the finale could sway me, but probably not. But I don't know, man. I think Series 8 has a fair few clunkers in it. And I think Series 9 does too. I mean, Sleep No More, you know? Like, the Dalek opener? Like, I don't know, man. Also, you got the controversy of Hellbent, which has grown on me. You also do get the legendary episode of Heaven Set, which is great. And I like Face the Raven too, so swings and roundabouts, man. I'll break into your house. I'm sorry, Sleep No Morpheus. The episode count is suffocating the series. I agree. I think one of the reasons why people struggle to say that this era is on a similar level is because in like the Capaldi era, which is what we're comparing it to directly, because of the nature of it being a 12-episode series, right? You could have room for a couple of clunkers in there, whereas in an 8-episode series, 1 or 2 clunkers feels a lot worse. Because there's only 8 of them, you know? Had to explain how Bent's Fun Mum yesterday is not fun. That's the other thing. Sometimes, I'm not going to lie, maybe I'm just stupid, but like, sometimes I feel like the Capaldi era thinks it's smart, you know? And it thinks it's smarter than it is. Not that it's smarter than it is, because it is smart in a lot of ways, but sometimes I just feel a little bit like, as an audience member, kind of like, okay, we get it, you know, it's a clever show, you don't need to like pontificate about how smart this is. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Like, I feel like this era, to a certain extent, knows, like, it's dumb sometimes, you know? I don't get the feeling that, you know, Russell was sat there writing Space Babies going, oh, marvellous, this is the smartest thing ever written, where it's like, you know? don't get me wrong, I actually really like Moffat. And I mean, I love the Smith era a lot. But that's the difference. For me, the key difference and why I prefer the Smith era over the Capaldi era is while the Capaldi era probably, like, has aged better, I think for me, I prefer the Smith era because above anything else, it seems to still know it's a kid's show at the end of the day, or like a family show, I guess. But, like, do you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's trying to... It doesn't feel like it's trying too hard. Does that make any sense? I don't know whether that makes any sense. Like, it feels like it knows its audience to a certain extent in a way that I don't think the Capaldi era always did. Darren, do you agree Space Babies is overhated? I don't think it's great, but I also don't think it's like the worst episode ever made either. It's one of those where I think it's liked less because of its function as the series opener. I think as a series opener, it was not a good choice. Like, as a series opener. But I think if it was in just the middle of a random series, I don't think it would be talked about that much. I think people would just see it as another, like, mid. It's your most nostalgic series. That is true. Nostalgia probably does play a bias in my Smith preference. But I would also point out that I was relatively young for the Capaldi era as well. When Capaldi started, I'd have been 11. So I wasn't that old, you know? It's an hour episode, it's a terrible series opener. Yeah, pretty much. This is exactly my sentiment. Like, if it was in the middle of it, like a random series, I don't think people would be thinking that deeply about it. But it's because it has to function as the opener, which is why people go, oh, no. As much as I like Sleep No More, imagine opening series like that. Exactly, like, yeah. But it's like, you know, I love... It's like when people say, oh, you know, your great jumping on episode for Doctor Who is like Blink. And I'm always like, what? No, it's not. None of the rest of the show is like that. Has Space Babies aired closer to Church on Ruby Road, wouldn't feel as jarring. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I almost feel like both Church on Ruby Road and Space Babies don't need to exist. I feel like you have one or the other of those. Worst episodes to start people on for New Who. Worst episodes to start on? Probably one of the Flux ones, like, because you wouldn't know what on earth's going on. Like, Once Upon Time or something. Because, like, you just have no context. You're like, okay. Darius, you're going to team up with Jackie Tyler and the Absorbaloff in an upcoming audio drama. I can neither confirm nor deny such things. I would do Big Finish, though. If anyone at Big Finish listens to these, I'm yours. I'd definitely do that. Yeah, that's my hot take, Time Shadow. I don't really think Moffat ever really got to the Daleks. I love him, and he gets the Cybermen to a T by Series 10, but his Daleks are not that great. We need an audio drama about Background Extra 28, make it happen. I mean, to be fair, look, you joke, but they've made audios about pretty much everyone, so it doesn't even sound that outlandish. Yeah, no, my character's official designation is Dispossessed Man number 28. There you go. RTD is the best Dalek guy, and Moffat is the best Cyberman guy. I agree. Well, yes, yeah. Because I was thinking, there's a lot of stories in his, like, Cyberman stories in his era that are a bit mid, but then there is that one really good one that kind of supersedes all the rest. But I also don't mind Rise of the Cybermen Age of Steel, although to be fair, that wasn't written by Russell, but he would have signed off on it. Moffat was much better with the Cybermen than Daleks. Oh, yeah. The thing is with Moffat is, he's a very, like, abstract writer. Like, when he approaches villains, he approaches them from I'm going to put a weird twist on this, or I'm going to, like, add this, or I'm going to, like, you know, reinvent the wheel. It's like, sometimes you don't need to do that, you know? Sometimes, you know, a Dalek can just be a space Nazi. It doesn't need to be, oh, it's a space Nazi, but also, when it's shooting its gun, it's saying, I love you. Like, no. You know, no. It could just be what it is. You know what I mean? Not everything needs to be this Lovecraftian thing, you know? Did you steal anything from set? I did not. Only two good Dalek episodes of Dalek and Inside the Dalek Society. Oh, I don't agree with that. No, I like pretty much all of the Russell ones, to be honest. That's why I want him to do the Daleks. That's why I'm waiting for the Daleks at this point, because I know he does them. Harry's the one who saw the units out even. It's really funny as well, because, like, I assume, because we see in the trailer a lot of it's blown up, I assume that's the reason everyone was like, guys, that means the unit's gone. And I'm like, I don't really know whether it does. It's like, as I said in the video, yeah, you did, you stole people's hearts. Oh, stop it. No. What was the thing I was going to say? Someone said something and I wanted to comment on it. What do you think of 2025 so far? The year? Pretty good for me. Probably better than last year at this point. The BD fire emoji. Yeah, I mean, if you want to cosplay the Dispossessed Man, go for it. Go for it. Daleks fire with emotions. If the Telltale ruins the Daleks, the witch fully ruins the Daleks. Yeah, I really don't like. That's one of the big reasons why I don't like that story. I think it just really fundamentally misunderstands the point of the Daleks, and I don't care for it. Sorry, man, if I wasn't skinned before payday, I'd probably shot you if you quid. Oh, no worries. You know, it's... Super chatting is not like a requirement, you know. It's lovely for people who do it, and I'm very grateful, but it's not, you know, I'm not going to be, like, sad if you don't. I'm not going to be like, how dare you? All this free content I'm giving you, how could you? How could you do this to me? No, I'm very grateful for everything. Even just watching is very, You're going to cosplay yourself? I've thought about it, maybe. I'd have to try and figure out how to recreate it. But then that also does feel a bit egotistical. The Thary's grind never stops. True. I am a relentless machine. If Thary's is canon, is chat canon? Maybe the real canon was the friends we made along the way. Just been having a fun time, and what if I get... Well, I appreciate that. Oh, I hope we get a Dalek redesign. I hope we do. I hope we do. How would you like to return to Doctor Who? Good question. Make me a unit person. I want to be someone at unit. You know, like, make me one of the unit people who swaps in. You know, they got Lenny rush in for, you know, an episode. Get me in as like a unit man. Did you meet RTD again? I did not. He was not at the studios that day. Dary's for the official Who podcast host. That would be a good idea, if not for the fact that the podcast doesn't seem to exist. But otherwise, I would love that. You should be an Elf and Pope style YouTuber. All theories should show up in the background of every episode like Susan Twist, except there's no payoff. You know what? I would love that. Just get me in different costumes. Just peeking around the corner. Why do you think the Who podcast would be cancelled? 2 reasons. 1, the views weren't very good. 2, no one liked it. I think the big problem with the podcast, and I can say this because I'm an independent, I'm a free agent now. I actually was lying the whole time. I hate Russell T Davies. No. What was I going to say? But the problem with... that's what I was going to say. The problem with the official Doctor Who podcast is the only people who are going to be watching a Doctor Who podcast are Doctor Who fans. Like, you're not going to convince any normal people to watch Doctor Who through an official podcast. So getting random TikTokers who Doctor Who fans don't know doesn't work. It's why it was better with Crystal, Juno, and Tyrell, because they all liked Doctor Who, and people knew them, Whereas, and I mean no disrespect to them, but I have no idea of their knowledge of Doctor Who prior to that, or what they like about Doctor Who. That's not to say that they didn't before they got it, but you know what I mean. There's not that connection that you need for something like a podcast to work, because a podcast is about becoming engaged in a person and their opinions, and that's what you go to a podcast for. And I think the issue is no one really knew what the opinions of the hosts were. Yo, thanks. Yo, Maddox. Congratulations. Apologies if this is insensitive, but the BF asked if they gave you a prop chair for filming or they let you use your own. They let me use my own. They did let me use my own. I wonder if Russell's watched any of your videos where you talk about Empire Death. I mean, this is the funny thing, right? People say that, I'm chill. They're if you tune into any of these live streams, they're like, Empire Death, man. What happened? I think that is the other thing with official podcasts. They're always going to be slightly cleaned up, but I also don't blame them for that. You're not going to get an official gig on the Doctor YouTube channel and go, well, that was awful. You're just not, and that's what people say that I do. But if next week I think it's bad, I will say I think it's bad. I said that I thought Empire Death was bad. I said that Space Babies was a bad opener. It's not like I won't say it. I think a lot of the people who think I'm a shill just don't watch my videos and just see that I'm more positive on this era than some of than they are, and they go, oh, well, that must be why. But then when you actually watch my videos, I have criticisms of this era just like I did with the last one. I just think this era is generally better than the last one. What other major shows are you going to appear in now you've had your big break? Well, all I'm saying is Amazon have recently acquired another British franchise. And let's just say that there may be talks for a new 007. Tharies, what's your thoughts on Unleashed? A lot of fans dislike it, and even I don't really care much about it. I think it's too much fluff. I agree on the fluff, but when it's good, it's really good. My big issue is twofold. One, why are all their previews just people walking in and out of doorways? Like, their previews are so underwhelming. And for two, you need to cut down on the scenes where they go, what's your favourite food? Or what's the scariest creature? Like, tell us more about the production. Because that stuff's good. That stuff's the best part. I do like Unleashed, though, and I'd still rather have it than not. I prefer the YouTube behind-the-scenes videos to Unleashed. Well, my kind of feeling is you kind of don't need both. That's kind of my hot take. I feel like you only really need one or the other. I think, honestly, Unleashed would be a lot better if the behind-the-scenes stuff was folded into Unleashed, rather than separating them. I didn't realise Unleashed and the YouTube thing are different. Yeah, like the Unleashed is like a whole 30-minute program. The behind the scenes is just like 10 minutes of extra stuff. Praying Omega is a cat. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Thing is, I was having this conversation with Confused Adipose last week on the podcast because I was like, you know, I wanted Sutek back for years, and we got him back, and he was a dog, and so I was like, do you really want Omega back after that? And he's like, yeah, no, I do. I was like, okay, but you know, monkey's paw. Omega is Garfield, yeah. Poppy did meow at the start. Oh my god, she did. You're right. Chat, it may be over. It may be over. Is 28 going to be your lucky number now? I guess so. I guess so. Omega could be Peter Davison. Yes, I saw Confused Adipose talking about that. I didn't watch the video, but I did see the thumbnail. That's the thing. Obviously, because me and Joe, Confused Adipose, do that podcast, we deliberately avoid each other's opinions until that podcast. If that makes any sense. So, like, we don't know each other's opinions yet. We will find out tomorrow, so I'm very interested. None of the group do. The Doctor struggled to fend off one villain in the season finale, so I thought, why not three? Russell's words. Well, Sutek was easily defeated, and he was even the Toymaker was scared of. True. That is one of the big things, because when people say that they're like over the gold stuff, I think the gold stuff's really cool. I think the issue is just that, like, they get defeated too easily. That's the issue. There's your description is excited for Flux to come out. Is it? Oh my god. You're right. Hold on a second. Has that not been updated? Goddamn. Well, I better do that really quickly. It's because I don't stream that often. Oh my god, look at all these tags. Well, I didn't know that. Thank you for pointing that out. I would never have noticed otherwise. I would have just kept streaming with the same synopsis from 2021. Alright. How do I get rid of this now? You know what? I'll do it later. No, wait. Hold on. Now you've got me to want to do it. Okay. Hold on. I'm doing it live, Kang. I'm doing it live. Do it live. Do. Get one of my own videos out, not to watch it. Shut up, Saturday. No. Edit video. I'm just doing this just because I'll forget otherwise. There we go. It's been up to date. It's up to date. Darius' description has been up to date 4 years. So I'm sorry, I don't stream that much. I'm sorry. Mary's and Susan confirmed. I am Willard! Hello. How are you? There you go. See? I changed it. We're up to date now, gang. Until Series 3 comes out, but we might have a while before that. No, it's good. I'm glad you told me, because otherwise it would have just stayed like that forever. And in like 20 years, I'd have been like, I'd have had a description that was talking about Flux coming out. Might be a little bit behind. Do we give a Fairies for showrunner now? The next step, you know, I'm slowly making my way up the corporate food chain. First, background cameo. Next, control the BBC. That's the trajectory. 1 hour 45 stream, crazy times. Yeah, I'm probably have to like go in like 10 or so minutes, because otherwise I'm gonna be tired, and I have been very busy these last couple of days, as you know. No, we don't want Russell to leave yet. I would be happy for Russell to stay for another 2. I think any longer than that, and it might be a bit too long. But I think if they did what they did last time, my ideal scenario would be they did what they did last time. So Shooty stays on. They filmed the 2 series back to back. We get like, obviously I don't think we're getting a series late 2026. I think it's pretty much impossible. I mean, that would be the ideal scenario, but it's more likely to be early 2027 and then early 2028, and then maybe he leaves alongside Shooty. That'd be my ideal, you know. That'd be my ideal outlook. Congratulations on your first episode. Write an episode next. Maybe one day. You know, I have. You always come up with ideas for Doctor Who stuff, but you know, it's hard to know. Funny enough, I actually did come up with an idea of like time travel involving like a spider once, but it was like it was more like the web acted as like phone wires. Yeah, I could give it a go, you're right. You can do it. Oh, well, thank you. Well, RTD is watching this and stealing a spider idea. I mean, to be fair, it's already pretty close to what we already have with Story of the Engine now. That's the thing. I mean, what's funny about it is one of my pitches for like a Doctor Who like reboot was like the universe gets wiped out via some kind of big event, and then like the universe kind of is like kind of recovering from the wreckage, and then the flux happens. So. Maybe the show would have secretly tapped my brain. What other show would you want a cameo in? Good question. I mean, Doctor Who's just... That was always the number one. I didn't really think about other shows. What other shows? It'd be funny to be in a sitcom. Just be like a sitcom character. Just pop in one day. Not like Mrs. Brown, though. God, no. You looking forward to the next season? I heard Davros, Daleks, and Cybermen. Well, I would be very happy with that. I can tell you that. Well, you can tell by the background, I would be very happy with Daleks, Davros, and Cybermen. That would be pretty good. I am actually Russell, and you will be the next Doctor, whether you like it or not. You know what? I would take it. Why is it so hard to take Flux seriously as a thing that happened? I think it's just because it didn't really have any consequences on like the wider universe, really. Like the Flux happens, and then even the Daleks, they're like, you saved the universe last week, and then kind of it, you know? And I don't really think anyone fully knows how that resolved. Is that the second or third time you've been on a TV show, right? So there was BBC News. There was a BBC podcast I did where I interviewed Ruth Madley, but that was like a radio thing. There was something. Oh, I have done. What was it? Points of View. They asked me to do that. They did ask me to do that, so I've done that. There was something else. As a kid, I was on like an episode of not Deadly 60, but like Deadly 60 spin-off. So there you go. Probably find me there somewhere. Try out for a movie, Gremlin 3. You could be a brilliant scientist. Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah. How good bad would a community episode be? Would it be the best or worst or just a middling up? I think it'd be really funny if you got everyone to try and write an episode and it just turned out to be mid. That probably would be what would happen. Or it'd be the worst thing ever made. Unit is so back, so can we make the Blinks actually do something? I agree! It's really funny because in the Unleashed you see that they've just got him in a giant box, sealed away, and that's the most useful he's been. Double cam theories must return one day. I will see what I can do with that. You should be in Beyond the Spider-Verse. Oh, that would be a good one. I have a feeling Unit spin-off will do fantastic in High Rings. I hope so. I will say, Lucky Day made me more excited for that. I wasn't as excited for that before then, but seeing Lucky Day, I'm a bit more like, oh no, this could actually be quite good. Like, I can kind of see it. The Blinks is just an excuse that Nick Briggs can give him a job. He's like, yeah, we're not doing the Daleks for a couple of years, so you can be in the background. There you go. So, like, that's another thing. Are we just fully, like, able to have, like, all of the things from that estate that owns Omega then? So K9 could come back, right? Because isn't there a whole thing with the estate? Yeah, there is a preview for the new spin-off on Saturday. Very excited for that. Name of the Doctor revealed Darius as the Doctor. Disney money, true. I'll be interested to see what it looks like. I guess as well, because it's Earthbound, they can spend more on, like, the VFX. In the sense that, like, they're not having to, like, make an alien planet, I guess. Although, having said that, they were filming internationally as well, weren't they? So maybe that would probably take up a bit of it as well. No, I think that's a pretty common opinion, Stephen. Like, I do prefer Common Potential, although I still do like Unleashed, and I'm glad Unleashed exists. I'd still rather have Unleashed than not. That is why Russell took a picture with Kane on. Wait, is that a recent picture? I did get paid for my Wishful cameo. I got paid standard extra rate, which was like, if you really want to know, I might as well say, I got like 70 quid for the day. There you go. Which, you know, I was more than happy with. Again, I'd have done it for free. We need shooting out with video diaries. Yeah. Darius is playing a Sea Devil in 24/6. You've ruined it. Wait, a month or two ago. Okay. No offense to Stefan, but I hate the presenter aspect of Unleashed. I don't know, I like Stefan though. I don't know. Counterpoint. We get a new presenter after Stefan leaves, but it's me. Question mark? I'm just there being like, hey, you know. I think so. I mean, I think you probably gotta have like some kind of documentation. Yeah, I'd love a K9 show. It's been ages. When was the last time K9 was in it? Probably was around like the Tennant era, right? Doctor Who Unleaked, yes! No, I like Stefan, but maybe that's just because I'm Welsh, so I'm biased. K9 kicks somebody's ass. I mean, wasn't that the pitch for like the K9 movie years ago? Like it was meant to be like, oh yeah, it's going to be K9 versus Omega, and then it just never really happened. So maybe this is how they do it. You know, K9 finally comes back, and he's the one that defeats Omega. Yeah, I thought so. Just finished the War Games in colour commentary. Would highly recommend. It's a proper lovely listen. I'm now off doing Tales of the TARDIS episodes to top it off. Very nice. It doesn't look like we're going to get a Tales of the TARDIS one this time, but we are getting that 20 years of New Who Unleashed, which looks good. So, K9 did have his own show, the Australian show. I was on a podcast about that once, and we watched an episode of it. Very odd show, but very interesting. Longer versus shorter arcs. It's a difficult one because you don't want an arc to feel like it's dragging itself out. But I also think it needs to be longer than 8 episodes ideally. So maybe a bit longer than they are now, but no longer than like 12 episodes. K9 did regenerate in that show, yeah, he regenerates into like a new design. K9 and Company is weird too, yeah. I want 13 episodes for the Christmas special like before. Don't we all? That's the dream. I would be so happy if that was what we were getting. Silence arc over 3 series? Damn. I wouldn't mind a Silence return. I'd like a 10-hour long episodes with proper focus on the villains. That'd be good. Yeah, maybe 13 episodes are too much now. I think, like, I would be more on board with the 8 episodes if they were, like, an hour each. I think it's the fact that they're still 45 minutes that annoys me. Yeah, I agree, Matrix Lord, I agree. Like, at least make them an hour. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, at least... We also used to get commentary for each episode in the Saturday. Well, I missed the Envision commentaries. They did a couple last year, and then they just haven't done any this year, and I think that's a shame. Because I really enjoyed those. I'd take 8 hours of Who every year. Yeah. The opener and late episode need to be 1 hour and a half. Well, that's the thing. I think with this finale, it needs to be longer than even just an hour. It does need that extra time. I wish iPlayer was more enjoyable app to use. I think it's gotten better than it used to be. 25, yeah. I mean, that's what DW Fan 91 wants. He's a big proponent of go back to 25 minutes a week. I don't know whether that would work, but I'd be interested to see it. It's longer because of the trailer or trailers. True. And then also, I imagine, at least in the cinema one, there'll probably be an intermission, because there was last year, when they did it for Legendary Sunday, Empire Death, there was like a 15-minute intermission. And then, like, Billy Gibson had a little thing being like, hope you enjoy the finale, hope it answers all your questions, and I'm like, it didn't, but there we go. Wait, has someone just added the live stream to the references on the wiki? Wait, no, they didn't, but they added a stream from a year ago. Why did they add this stream from a year ago to the TARDIS wiki? I don't know. I would love a Tales of the TARDIS for the new Who's 25th anniversary with like Billy Piper. That'd be fun. What 60s Who episode do you think will be colorized next? It's probably, realistically, they're probably going to do something like Two with the Cybermen. I wouldn't want them to, because I think that story works better in black and white. If you were to ask me what one I'd want, I'd say something like The Romans would be a pretty cool one. We need a great new video game. True. I have heard rumours about a new video game, but I don't know how true they are. Because I know that there was that one tweet from Maze Theory who did the last one saying they wanted to do another. So, who knows? What's your opinion on Dougadoo? Peak song. Should have won the Interstellar Song Contest. Yeah, see, the Romans would be good. Do you think we should get a Doctor Who movie? It really would depend on what they did with it, I think. It could be good, but you'd have to do it in a specific way. You have a PS5 Switch or Xbox. I have a PS5 and a Switch. And I'm also going to grab a Switch too when that comes out in a couple of weeks. I'm very excited for that. The hand with the nail polish taking the gold tooth is Kate Stewart, and she is keeping the master shown in the container in the finale trailer. Oh, I like that. That's a good theory. I like that. To be fair, I don't have an Xbox, Vanders, but I don't think many people do these days. I say that, I know a couple people who do, but it's like, Xbox is weird, because they don't really, like, make exclusive games anymore. They kind of just put everything everywhere, and it confuses me. It's like, why would you buy an Xbox if you can buy everything that they... Oh, Joe came up with that theory? Okay. I won't, because I would cover it in a video, but, I don't want him to accuse me of stealing it. Xbox is only good for PC. Yeah, apparently the Game Pass is good value, to be fair. PS Plus isn't too bad either, though, to be fair. Ooh, it started to rain. I was so ready for the Rani to reveal to have, oh, it doesn't rain, it floods. Rain, Rani. Watch your videos quite a long time, pal. First time commenting. You're awesome, dude. Watch every video you make. Oh, thank you. I need to finish the 13th Doctor game on PlayStation. Is that the edge of reality? I had a really annoying bug when I played that for the first time, where one of the puzzles, like, it didn't spawn one of the items, so I just couldn't complete the puzzle. It was very annoying. Do you like Doctor Who's fantasy shift, or do you prefer it stick to sci-fi? I think it's an interesting one. I've never really bought into the idea that Doctor Who is like, when people say, oh, Doctor Who should be going back to like being a hard sci-fi show, I'm like, was it ever really that? Like, the Hartnell era has stories like Planet of Giants in it, and The Celestial Toymaker, and, you know, going more into the 60s, you have things like The Mind Robber, and, you know, stuff like that. Was it ever hard sci-fi? I don't know. I think it's always had a bit more fantasy going on than something like Star Trek did, but I quite like the God stuff, to be honest, but I do understand, I want some more classic monsters next year. I think the God stuff should begin, I think the Pantheon stuff at least should begin to wrap up this year. CD Neiman's original concept was very hard sci-fi and educational themes. It was, but that was quickly, like, deviated from. Like, almost immediately. Because he didn't want the Daleks, lest we forget. And, I mean, you know, look how they turned out. Mrs. Flood, Omega, the anagram was right in front of us the whole time. Oh my god, you figured it out. Stefan's work experience does ruin Unleashed. I give it every time. It is the weakest part, isn't it? It's that and when he's like, oh, what's your favourite food? Unleashed crew. It's like, I don't know. That is true, fantasy did seem into Star Trek too. I mean, there's the first episode of, I'm not as into Star Trek, by the way, but there is that first episode of, oh, what's the one called that's like the 90s one? The one that's like the reboot, not the original series. Someone will know. Hang on. The first episode of that, is it Star Trek Enterprise? The Next Generation, thank you. Thank you, The Next Generation, the first episode of that is a bit fantasy-ish. Thank you, thank you. No, I think I did mean, yeah, I think I did mean TNG, I think. What's your favourite classic Who villain? The Ants. To be fair, it is nice hearing about, like, how people got into it and, like, stuff like that. There was a really fun moment today when, like, they were talking about this woman who got into it through watching Confidential, which I thought was really fun. Enterprise was 2001, 2005. So yeah, I do mean TNG there, because Enterprise was the one after, I think. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think I am going to wrap it there because it's almost 11 p.m. For me, so it's pretty late. My first ever movie was Star Wars. I mean, what a first movie! I don't know what my first movie was, actually. What do you mean? I remember seeing one of like the Spider-Man movies pretty early on, the Tobey Maguire ones. There might be something before then, though. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm probably gonna head off. Great. Thank you. Take care, everybody. I'm just pretty tired. It's been a pretty busy couple of days. I don't know if I'm misremembering. Didn't LT do so if he leaves? He'll leave with Shooty. I don't know. But then I guess if like Shooty leaves early, then maybe he wouldn't. I don't know. But I'm gonna go because otherwise I could be here forever. So I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye bye.